everybody. Welcome back to BigDamnGeeks TV. Thank you for checking out our second episode. We're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff today. We're going to be jumping all over the place. A lot of short pieces, things like that. So, as always, I'm joined by my good friend Jean-Claude. I am Big Damn Pete. Jean, what's on the menu for today?
Today we're going to be talking about a few different things. We're going to be talking about Disney and their electric parade. We're going to be actually bitching about some Harry Potter news. We're going to talk about a little bit about how the new Ghostbuster movie did. Star Wars Rebels and
Rogue One as well.
Yeah, Rogue One as well. And some of the... we're going to switch it up a little bit and talk about some technology of like sci-fi stuff that we would like to see in reality or not see in reality. So,
because sci-fi technology is scary.
Yeah.
So, start off, we're based out of Orlando, so a lot of theme park news comes our way.
Yeah.
Since 1977, Magic Kingdom has had the Disney Electric Parade at night. And it's bounced back and forth between here and Disneyland in California quite a few times. But as of October 9th of this year, which is only 2 months away, they're going to be shutting it down permanently. It's going to be going to Disneyland for like a short little farewell tour, and that's it.
Damn. I mean, for me, you just told me about this news today, so like that's kind of like a bit shocking to me. I remember growing up, going to Disney World and watching the parade. It was kind of like a big part of going to Disney World and having that whole experience. So, like, it's kind of crazy that they're shutting it down.
I mean, it's been there for so long. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Disney's heading in a new direction, though, with Star Wars and Marvel properties and all this.
Yeah.
You can't help but see it everywhere in the parks. And it's just one more of those classic things that's going to be gone.
Yeah.
It's sad to see. But I guess Disney marches on.
I mean, I guess they do have to, like, move on with the times, and, like, they can't be antiquated with, like, seeing the same things over and over again. I mean...
You got to update stuff every once in a while, but to take something that classic and still holds up, I mean, it is exactly what it sounds like. If you've never seen it, it's just... They take the parade floats and the characters, and they're just covered in lights, and they just go down at night. And it's a beautiful show, and I'm going to miss it.
Yeah. I mean, I know they're changing something. I think is it Tower of Terror? I believe they're
in California, at Disney's California Adventure. They're shutting down the Tower of Terror, and they're replacing it with a Guardians of the Galaxy themed ride, Escape or something they're calling it.
That sounds kind of cool. And Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody knows I love that.
People are gonna ride it and love it. I'm sure if I had the chance to go out and ride Guardians of the Galaxy ride, I'd really enjoy it too. But come on, man, Tower of Terror.
Yeah, I mean,
classic,
that's another
Twilight
classic.
Zone.
Yeah, another classic thing to talk about.
Yeah, another thing gone. Disney marches on.
So let's talk about Harry Potter. So Peter is saying he wants to like go on a little rant, bitching about what's going on in the Harry Potter world. So take it away, Peter.
All right. So we all know as Harry Potter fans that there's a stage play going on in London, written by J.K. Rowling, called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And it takes place 19 years after the last thing we see in the books and in the movies.
Okay.
So that's the last thing we got. And it's... My problem is not with whether it's quality story or quality play or anything like that. It's the plain and simple fact that people are already clamoring for it to be a movie. My problem is I don't want to see another Harry Potter movie now with new actors playing these characters older, like they're obviously doing in the play.
Yeah.
If we're going to do another movie, I want to wait 19 years from the last point of filming and see the same actors
original.
come back 19 years older and play the characters again.
Yeah.
All right, so enough about my rant about Harry Potter. I've gotten it out of my system. You heard what I have to say. We'll move on before I get any more worked up about these people and their movie that isn't going to happen anytime soon.
All right. So next thing we're talking about is Ghostbusters and how they lost $70 million.
$70 million.
Million.
Now, they made their production costs back. That's pretty much all on the back end. It's all promotional costs, everything they did for that. Somebody I immensely respect in the geek community by the name of Tafetta Darling in Texas made a very good point that you can't take an iconic male-driven film with iconic comedic actors, replace them with more fresh-faced female comedic actors, do the same jokes, and expect a new hit. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was not one of the people when the trailers were out who was like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
Like, I still plan to see it when it comes out on DVD. Like, I mean, the trailer was not enough to bring me into the theater.
So you haven't watched the movie yet?
I have not seen it yet.
Well, I actually did watch the movie in theater. Like, I wasn't on board when, like, everybody was hating on it when it first came out, but, like, after watching it, it's another one of those movies that's enjoyable. You know, that has its funny moments, but I'm not surprised that it has lost, like, you know, money. So
I'm a big supporter of the director, Paul Feig. He's done a lot of great things. Bridesmaids, Freaks and Geeks, one of my favorite TV shows that never made it. But he's a great guy. I think he has a good head on his shoulders for comedy. And I thought it was a cool idea to put female comedians into the roles.
Yeah.
But I just don't think... Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say a whole lot. But it just seems like they kind of went the wrong way with it.
Yeah.
So...
I mean,
they canceled the sequel, so...
Yeah, I mean, I guess you gotta wait till, like, do you watch it to get your you know, real perspective on it. But
I will update you all because I know you want to know.
We'll probably do another YouTube about that.
You want to do Star Wars talk next?
Yeah, let's talk about Star Wars.
Real quick, I'm a big fan of the animated series Star Wars Rebels, which airs on Disney XD. Season 3 is going to debut Saturday, September 24th, with an hour-long premiere episode from 8:30 to 9:30. If anything should be based on the season 2 finale, this is going to be flippin' amazing. The end of season 2 saw Ezra kind of learning from a Darth Maul who showed up in the Rebels continuity. We saw Kanan pretty much blinded by a lightsaber to his eye sockets. The Ghost crew took off, but season 3 is promising some really interesting things. One, Tom Baker, who's best known as playing one of the doctors on Doctor Who, is joining the cast as a mysterious kind of force-wielding character, but they're not calling him a Jedi.
Okay.
And then a reintroduction, if you will, of a character who'd previously been written out of continuity. When Disney bought Star Wars and all its properties, they decided that outside of the movies and the current TV shows and a few other new books, nothing else that was written counted as continuity.
Yeah.
It was not canon.
Yeah.
One of those characters written out was from one of the biggest trilogies of Star Wars books ever, Heir to the Empire, a character named Grand Admiral Thrawn, who's like a blue-skinned alien. He's like master strategist, like really good mind for the military. Well, Rebels has now brought him back.
That's cool.
Instead of him being in the post Return of the Jedi continuity, he's now in the world between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So he's in those.
Okay.
Rebels technically takes place about 4 or 5-ish years before A New Hope does.
Okay.
So that's where he's coming in. I'm really excited to see YouTube Cat.
Cats.
So many animals in this house. YouTube Cat Tex.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that. Season 3 does see a bit of a time jump. I don't think it's been specified how far of a jump in time they're taking between the end of Season 2 and the beginning of Season 3, but we're now seeing a more powerful Ezra is in charge of the Ghost crew, not Kanan, who's obviously had his eyes messed up by a lightsaber. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. So I'm really excited for that. But also coming up in the Star Wars world later this year is Rogue One.
Rogue One. That's something a little bit more familiar with. I haven't seen the Star Wars Rebels yet. I haven't been able to have the time to go and watch it, but I've heard like really good things about that particular show. But Rogue One, I'm really excited about this movie. I from the trailers that I've seen, like it looks awesome, and I can't wait to see like how the Star Wars universe like progresses and like expands and like goes into like different like storylines and stuff like that.
It's going to be really cool. We're going to see, we know that Darth Vader is going to be involved in the story. Yeah. There's a really cool like samurai ninja looking guy.
Yeah, I believe he's blind too.
Really?
Yeah,
I have not heard that.
Yeah, he's a blind like samurai like type guy. You can kind of tell when you watch the trailer that he's like a little bit. Yeah, he's just kind of doing it by the Force. Like apparently he uses the Force, but like he's not a trained Jedi or anything like that.
One of the more interesting things that's shown up actually about Rogue One is that Forrest Whitaker's character, it's actually not going to be the first time this character has been in Star Wars.
I heard that he was also in the...
He was in the Clone Wars TV series.
Okay.
He fought alongside Obi-Wan and Anakin in the Clone Wars on the planet Onderon. And now this is an older version of the character who, because he fought alongside the Republic and the Republic betrayed him, he's now part of the Rebel Alliance.
Okay.
But he kind of has this distrust of all military groups because he was betrayed so much.
Okay.
So it's going to be really interesting to see that character, because that's really one of the first times I think that I can think of where a character has gone from one medium, like a TV cartoon, to a film, or even vice versa is a little more common.
Yeah.
You see Star Wars characters made animated all the time, but it's not often you see them taken from the animated universe and put into a movie.
Real live action stuff.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean everything the trailers that are coming out from Star Wars is like amazing, and like I just hope they do it justice, and like they use Darth Vader the right way. They don't like overuse him.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to show up all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best villains are the ones who show up just when you need them.
Yeah.
They stay in the shadows and they work out of the shadows. I think that's really like what makes a good threatening villain.
Yeah.
Like going back to Harry Potter, you barely see Voldemort for the majority of the films.
Yeah.
He really doesn't play a large role until the last two.
Yeah.
Because he's in the background, he's manipulating things. Like that to me is more of a threat than a guy who's just running around, with a lightsaber, swinging it back and forth, who can be taken out.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how they treat Vader. We know that James Earl Jones will be returning to voice Vader, so it will be the classic Vader voice.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's our first Star Wars film that's not numbered. unless you count the Ewok movies. But they were on TV. They don't count. They were not released in theaters.
I don't think I've ever seen those.
You're in for a treat, sir. I'm going to find them. We're going to watch the Ewok movies. We are going to watch the Ewok Adventure and Battle for Endor. And we are going to record. We're going to do it Mystery Science Theater 3000 style.
Yeah.
We're going to record our audio
Yeah.
watching the movie, and you can watch it listening to us. That's what we're going to do.
That's awesome.
So that'll come up soon. Keep an eye out for that, because that's gold.
Yeah.
We got gold there, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, so and the last thing we were going to talk about is just like, being a little bit goofy and stuff, and talk about like sci-fi technology and what would you want to see in like technology like come to reality, and what wouldn't you want to see like sci-fi stuff to come to reality.
First off, like so much stuff from Star Trek has become reality. Like we are now using tablets.
Yeah.
We have touchscreen computers, Wi-Fi. Like all of that was things like pretty much predicted by Star Trek. So when I look at Star Trek, I'm like, what kind of things would I like? I'd love to have a phaser. I would love to be like, oh, there's a giant piece of rubble in my backyard I want to get rid of. Oh, I could lift it up and drag it out to the garbage, and the garbage man probably won't take it because it's too heavy, and it'll just sit there. Or I can whip out a phaser and disintegrate that piece of junk right then and there. I would like that. What I wouldn't like, transporters. Because when you think about it, essentially it's murdering you and then creating a clone of you somewhere else.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it all depends on the type of transporter you're talking about, I guess, but
like the dematerializing transporter.
It kills you and stuff. I mean, if you have like a wormhole and stuff like that, that'll be...
That's completely different. Like, yeah. Like, I'm all for wormholes. Like, I want to go from one end of the galaxy to the other, like, in minutes.
Uh-huh.
That would be awesome. But transporting me from my ship down to a planet below, screw that. Screw that. I'll take a shuttle.
I mean, for me, like, there's so much stuff out there that, like, I would love to see come to reality. Something that comes off, top of my head is maybe like flying cars. Like, I think that would be pretty cool. But like, I definitely feel like they will have to be like automated. Like, you can't just have people like flying around. Like,
it would be so much havoc, because you cause a car accident. Not only are you in an accident, you're probably going to fall a couple 100 feet to the ground. Screw that. Forget that.
I mean, like stuff like that. Like, man, I'm not sure. Like, there's so many things out there that like I would just love to see in reality, and like
I'd love to have a lightsaber.
Oh yeah,
or like a Tron light cycle.
That'll be fucking awesome.
I'd probably get into a lot of trouble with a lightsaber and a Tron light cycle, leaving that trail of like a wall behind me, and like just cutting people off and be like, boom, see ya. Coming up on somebody with my lightsaber, cutting off their fucking heads and shit, and be like, see ya again.
Tron and Star Wars.
I'm not good in traffic, if you haven't realized. I'm like Homer Simpson in that episode where he just designs a car for his brother. He's like, I want a horn here, 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 and here. You can never find a horn too fast when you're angry.
It makes you feel safe,
I've always had this idea. Bear with me here. It's just an idea. Where it's a locator, and it detects all the cars around you. And it's like, that guy's driving like a douche. You select his car, and you deploy his airbag. Boof! In his face. He goes flying backwards in traffic. Probably causes a much larger accident than what I intend.
Yeah.
But the idea is that guy's no longer in traffic.
You just want to fuck with people in traffic.
You don't want to mess with me in traffic.
That's a pretty crazy thought there.
What other kind of things would be cool to see sci-fi wise? Like, I always think of like Blade Runner, and they had those umbrellas that had like the stick handle like would light up, so it was like a light and an umbrella.
Oh yeah,
which they actually make at thinkgeek.com. Shout out to thinkgeek.com if you want to give us a sponsorship and send us some cool stuff. We'd be happy to review it.
That would be cool.
We'd be very happy to review it.
I mean, what else? I like anything in like space travel. Like, I think it'll be awesome. Like, I would love to be able to, go out into space, go to different planets, inhabit different things.
I'd love to have like the Star Trek sized ships where you're essentially like living in a small town that just happens to be traveling through space at tremendous speeds.
And then I feel like then we're all gonna become like that Wall-E. Like, did you see the Wall-E movie?
Yeah.
Everybody's like super fat, had no bones, and they're just like blobs.
We're pretty much there anyway.
Yeah. I think
what other sci? How about this? You guys in the comments below, let us know what sci-fi tech you would love to have and what you don't want to have.
Yeah.
Because there's so much out there that we barely even touch. Next time we do an episode, we've got some good feedback. We'll talk about what you guys have brought up as well, and we'll mention that also. So I think that pretty much rounds out this episode.
Yeah.
Big Damn Geeks TV. Jean, where can people find you on the internet?
You could find me on Facebook, Art by Jean-Claude, Instagram, Jean-Claude Art, and my website, JeanClaudeRoche.com.
Which is right here, if you
here.
don't know how to spell that. It's pretty simple for me. It's BigDamnGeeks.com, of course. You're already watching on YouTube, so if you are, please subscribe to the channel.
Don't forget to subscribe, like us.
Share it with your friends. Let everybody know what we're doing here. On Facebook and Twitter, it's Big Damn Geeks. If you really want to follow my Instagram, which is mostly pictures of pop culture stuff and my dog and cats, it's at Big Damn Pete. So if you really want to do that, you can do that. Pretty much rounds out our episode. I said last time I did the sign off from the podcast. I said I was going to try something different today. I'll probably try something different every podcast until I find, or every Big Damn Geeks TV, until I find what sticks.
Yeah.
So for today's episode, I'm going to say, don't worry, folks. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Thank you for watching. We'll check you out next time. See you guys.
See ya.
Have a nice day.
Bye.